Unafraid Show. Reister or wrong. Boy George Reister here. Got a bunch of great things on track for you guys today. But remember, this is the Unafraid Show. This is where you come to hear the truth. You don't come to hear that watered down stuff. We're not sheep. We tell the truth, let you know what's popping and what's happening out here in the world. Yeah, like I told you, George Reister today is going to be the greatest Unafraid show of all time. Make sure you tell a friend, share a friend, swipe up, all that. What we got on track for you guys today is this. First of all, most of you guys have seen the video today of a dad. There is the dad who tries to attack Larry Nassar. There was a gymnastics doctor, Michigan State doctor, during his sentencing hearing. And yes, we're all upset. Yes, we agree that the dude should have got to him. He asked the judge for 5 minutes alone in the room with Larry Nassar. We all would have given him that. We all would have given the man vigilante justice, even though we normally don't allow this sort of thing. But I'll tell you this, I keep getting angrier and angrier, more angry about this, because he's not the only one to blame for this. Larry Nassar's not the only one to blame. He's the only one going to jail right now, but he's not the only one to blame, and that pisses me off. Next thing up that we got up for today is there's a limo driver. There's a limo driver who claims to be a self-taught rocket scientist. His name is Mike Hughes. He's going to launch himself into space tomorrow to prove that the earth is flat. Nothing could go badly here, right? Nothing at all. Nothing could go wrong. Also, Russell Westbrook, he pushed the fan, and the fan deserved it. Fan actually deserved it. Not mad at Russell Westbrook for doing what he did. Where we're going to start today is Larry Nassar. We're going to start with Larry Nassar. If you don't know who he is, he's a gymnastics doctor. Used to be the team doctor at Michigan State. Team doctor for USA Gymnastics. He also treated women of all different sports while he was at Michigan State. This dude is a creep. He's a scumbag. He admitted he was guilty. All of these things. I'm not for vigilante justice all the times, but there are some times I would not mind when people were hanged publicly. And this is one of those times with Larry Nassar. Because not only did he abuse women, I've talked about this, like the women aren't the only people who are like left victims in this situation. It's their families, it's their kids, it's all of this stuff. So here's the thing that I want to make sure of. Here's the thing that I want to make sure of, that we completely understand, is that while I'm upset with Larry Nassar, I cannot be the only one who is equally or more upset with the people who enabled Larry Nassar. Oh, greetings from Antarctica as well. I can't be the only one who's like outraged at the people who enabled him. Because the way I look at things is this, is that evil people do evil things. You can't stop evil people from doing evil things. This is just what they do. So while you can be upset with them for their evil crimes and the evil things they did, they're going to do what they're going to do. It's the fact that people allowed it is the problem. It's the people who allowed it. Because you have people who at Michigan State, I got a list for you guys. These people should not only lose their jobs because a lot of them have resigned. These people should be in jail as well. And I don't understand why there's not the outrage and the calling for this as well. Because if I rob a bank and you guys get away drive from me, you aid and abet, right? You aid and abet me committing a crime. So if I commit a crime in sexually assaulting women, sexually assaulting kids, and you allowed it, you either knew about it and you brushed it under the rug, you said it was going to bring public embarrassment to your family, all of this stuff, you then are aiding and abetting. You are an accomplice to me doing these evil and wrong things. How in the hell does that make sense that these people are just sitting there, just walking through the situation, no problems? Yes, they've lost their job, but is that really enough for what has happened catastrophically to all these women? And that's what pisses me off. Like, that's the part that makes me more upset than anything, is that is that the other people surrounding this are just feel like they're just kind of walking away scot-free. Like they're like, oh, now the U.S. Olympic Committee, even though they knew in 2015, they're all of a sudden they're launching an investigation. That is the most load of crap that we hear all the time. Every time there's an issue. Oh yeah, it's time for us to launch an investigation. What that means is that we're going to delay it year, 2 years. We're going to have some quote unquote findings, and it's all just going to kind of go away. That's a way to buy time for a bunch of other scandals to come out or whatever in between now and then. That's what launching an investigation is. So sorry if I'm not buying it. But the dad who tried to attack Larry Nassar, I'm all in on him. I am 100% all in on this dad. Larry Nassar abused 3 of his daughters. 3 of them. So why on earth would I have any sympathy for him? The man asked, like when you see the video, you can see it happening. You can see him unraveling right there in court. He asked the judge, can I get 5 minutes alone in a locked room with this man? Please, judge, just 5 minutes. Judge says, you know what, sir, I cannot do that. Like, that's just not allowed. That's not part of the rules. I cannot do it. Okay, judge, can you give me 1 minute alone in a locked room with this man? Like, you can see the passion and the anger and the disgust. He feels like he let his daughters down, like everybody else is hurt. And he, as a man, wants to defend his family. So, you know what? The only thing I feel bad about is that he wasn't able to get across and get at least one lick in on Larry Nassar. Because whatever he got for punishment for taking off, for delivering a blow to Larry Nassar would have been worth it. Would have been worth it to him and probably anybody else. He would have had a GoFundMe page, all legal defenses paid. No jury can convict a man for that. No jury. No jury. Temporary insanity, permanent insanity for that. The next thing we got up today, though, is there's a limo driver, okay? I know that we're not supposed to judge people by what they do for a living and all that, but I'm just going to state the facts. Limo driver and self-taught rocket scientist Mike Hughes is going to launch himself into space on February 3rd to prove that the Earth is flat. No, nothing could go badly here, right? Nothing could go badly. My initial thought is 2 things. Number 1, can somebody please explain to me how you self-teach rocket science? So that's the first thing. That's the first question I got. How are you a self-taught rocket scientist? We'll get back to that in a second. And the second question I have is, if and when this dude dies, does he get a hero's death and a salute for trying to do something, be amazing, go out there and do something great in the world, or does he get a crazy man's death? Those are the 2 questions that I got. And we'll go back to the first question first. How do you self-teach rocket science? This dude's a limo driver, so he's got a full-time job. And he's self-teaching himself rocket science. Okay, from my experience in life, there are some things that you can self-teach yourself. You can self-teach yourself how to drive. Problem, you can self-teach yourself another language, like my daughter has, listening to K-pop. She's learned Korean. You can self-teach yourself chess. You can self-teach yourself the piano, don't even know how to read music. You can self-teach yourself a great number of things. Calculus, you can teach yourself math, you can teach yourself science, teach yourself all these things. But rocket science, no. You can teach yourself the fundamental skills in this. However, how many times do we see rockets actually getting tested? He's a limo driver. He doesn't have the resources, funds, or availability because he's working out of his garage to test a rocket that can be manned by a person. He's going to launch himself up into space. Nothing could go wrong here. And the funny part is he's going up to space to find out that the world is flat. Like, he's trying to prove the Kyrie Irving theory that the world is flat. Guess what, man? The world is not flat. And the ironic part is this dude is going to kill himself trying to prove that the earth is flat because just one simple thing. He's not taking into account the curvature of the earth because he doesn't think that it's curved, not taking into account the curvature of the earth and how it affects gravity, which he also does not believe in. What? Yeah, nothing could go wrong here. So the question is, if and when this dude dies, does he get a hero's death? Like, I mean, are we going to mourn him on television? Are we going to look at him and be like, oh, man, this is such a tragedy. This is such a tragedy that this man died out here trying to be Albert Einstein. This man died trying to be a great human and a great heroic hero out in this country, out in this world. Let's honor him. Let's put a statue up of him. No, man. We have to be sad about the man's death, inevitable death, because I don't see how this ends any other way besides him either in the hospital or dead. I mean, if that's not the case, this dude deserves to be like to receive a Nobel Prize in science. Because to me, this dude looks like a dude doing backyard wrestling moves. Like the dude who jumps off the house. You know the videos that you see on YouTube where the guys, they light a table on fire. They go up to the roof and they like DDT the dude or suplex the dude off the roof. And then somebody dies. Yep. That's the dude. That's what this guy looks like. That's what he looks like. He looks like the guy who ends up killing himself in a backyard wrestling moves. Or the guy who's like, the infamous words of college students and men just in general. Because there's an element of men that when you become a certain age, like the mark of a man's maturity is how many, hey guys, watch this moments that a man has. Because when you're 15, 16, from like 15 to like 25, you have a lot of those. Like, hey guys, watch this. You have a lot of those moments, and the majority of them end up no problem or just like near-death experience. Like, no, the majority of them end up, like the video where the guy does the backflip, falls down, and then the car narrowly misses his head. Yep, that's the way the majority of them end up. He's like, oh my God, I almost died right there. I almost died. Like, that's how most of them end up. But this guy teaching himself as a self-taught rocket scientist, this cannot end up well. He's going to launch himself into space in a hey guys, watch this moment. So when you're young, you have those as a man. And as you grow up, the more mature you get, the less hey guys, watch this moments that you are going to have. That's the truth. So this man is clearly not a mature man at this point in time, because this is his grand finale of, hey guys, watch this. And I don't see any way that this goes well for him. I wish it would, but come on, man. Like let's be real. And then somebody's got to get on television. Somebody's got to tell his family, like, yo, you know, he died. This didn't go well. And they're going to be like, we know. We've been trying to tell crazy Mike Hughes to leave this alone because this can't go well. I mean, have we not seen like Apollo 13 and Armageddon, even though it's not a true story, like all these movies? Like nothing ever goes as planned when you go to space. Nothing. Rockets break. I mean, and think about it. When the Apollo missions and all these missions have gone into orbit, what has happened? Something has gone wrong, and they have the entire NASA working on it, trying to get them back. They have every scientist, every smart genius in the world trying to get them back with the most advanced communications and technology available. What happens when something goes wrong with this dude? Who's going to help him out? This dude's going to have like a CB radio and like maybe a sat phone, and this is going to work out for you. No, man. No, man. Nothing's going to end well for Mr. Mike Hughes. I wish him well, but let's just keep it real. It's not. Next thing we got up for you guys today is the Oklahoma City played the Denver Nuggets last night. And yeah, you guys might be paying attention to the fact that they hit a game winner. The Nuggets hit a game winner. Guy shot it over Westbrook, went in, all that stuff. But the video that you might not have seen is Westbrook is trying to walk off the court. Fan jumps in front of his face. Fan jumps in front of his face. Ha ha ha. Like that whole deal. Like jumps in front of Westbrook's face. Westbrook pushes the dude. And then the guy's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like he got him to do something wrong. And I can't see any circumstance where Russell Westbrook was in the wrong for this. Because as a fan, like you cannot, like this goes into the, hey guys, watch this category. Because why on earth would you think it's a good idea? Somebody just hits a game winner on Russell Westbrook. You already know he's testy already. Somebody hits a game winner on Westbrook, and you think that jumping in front of his face is a good idea. What? Why on earth would you think that that's a good idea? Adrenaline is flowing. This is a grown-ass man who's more physically dominant and strong than you, but you're going to jump in his face. What? What? Like, why would you think that this is a good idea? Like, nothing good can come of this. He's lucky he didn't get punched in the face. The man is lucky he didn't get punched in the face. And the fact that fans do these kinds of things and think that it is okay, because this dude isn't it. This is not the first time he's done something like this to somebody. It's not. It's not. This is what the man does. Like, he's that guy at the party who gets too drunk and people get upset with him. And so this is why I have a question for you guys. Send in your comments, send in your responses, because I have a legit question. Is the guy who jumped in front of Westbrook, taunting him, all of this stuff, if we all wouldn't have blamed Russell Westbrook had he punched him, but then we would have been like, listen, man, you can't punch him, but the guy deserved it, though. So, being that this is not the first time that this guy has done this, because I have experience with these people in life, is, you know, the guy who does too much when he's drunk? He's just like wants to fight the guy, talks too much, all of this stuff, and all his friends have to save him. That's that guy. And my question to you is, because I've seen those guys punched before, and I've seen them walk away unscathed before. So does this guy, is the guy who's been punched and he was so drunk that he doesn't remember and this is just the asshole he is? Or is he the guy that just consistently gets bailed out by his friends in the situation and it's all good? We're talking about Russell Westbrook pushing the fan. Oh, I would definitely agree on some level that this is a security failure, and he wanted to be punched by Westbrook because he wants money. Because you saw after Westbrook pushed him, oh, he's clapping away. He's like, oh, yeah, I got him. Because he either wants Westbrook fined, he wants to be able to sue Westbrook or something. But in reality, the NBA needs to send a strong message to its fans. Other, like the incident that happened at Jacksonville this year where they were throwing beers or whatever the hell else at the Seahawks players. These fans need to be reprimanded in a harsh way because something bad is going to happen. You saw it happen with Ron Artest, the Malice in the Palace and all that. Because at what point in time, like, do you think that you can just approach a man, especially a man whose adrenaline is on max, in that way? And I'll tell you this. Here's the rules of fandom. I've said it before. The rules of fans. The fans' rights. Because one of the rights that you have as a fan, you can do, say whatever you want to say. However, here's a rule that you need to adhere to. If you would not say the things that you would say in front, if you were locked in a room with a player then guess what? You shouldn't say it. If you were locked in a room with a player and there were no charges to be had, then you should say it. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. Because the fan, as a right, you have 5 rights. When you go to a stadium, you have 5 rights. You have the right to a seat. You have the right to cheer. You have the right to boo. Whatever happens, you can be happy with your team, bad with your team, whatever. So you have the right to a seat. You have the right to cheer. You have the right to boo. You have the right to be entertained and say whatever you want as long as you would say it in a locked room with the player. Those are the rules of fandom. And if you violate those rules, you have to be punished. You absolutely have to be punished. Otherwise, you put the player's safety in danger. You put other fans' safety in danger, because we saw with the Malice in the Palace, the person who actually threw the beer on Ron Artest is not the person who ended up getting punched. These are the rules, man. And when you violate these rules, like, there has to be severe punishment. Because if Russell Westbrook were a different man, this dude would have got punched in the face. And nobody would have been, and he would have been justified, although he still would have been held responsible. Because I heard Will Smith talking about something the other day, and I thought it was absolutely genius. He said that there's a difference between fault and responsibility. I was like, damn, like, this is okay. Tell me more. So, because we always focus on whose fault it is. Whose fault? Who broke the jar? Who cheated? Who lost the game? Who did this? But in reality, we all have to accept responsibility. So while somebody else might have broken something, sometimes it's our responsibility to fix it and fix ourselves. So yes, you might not have had a great parent. It's their fault they did what they did and didn't treat you correctly. However, it is then your responsibility to do the work on yourself, to fix yourself, the way you don't run around hurting other people. I totally like that. I thought that was great, Will Smith, that you were talking about that. You guys, make sure that you download the podcast, share with a friend. Share with a friend, the Unafraid Show. Tell them what's going on, because today was lit. We got to talking about the dad who tried to attack Larry Nassar during the sentencing hearing. But he's not the only one to blame in this situation. It's the people who allowed Larry Nassar to continue and to destroy these women's lives and these families' lives. And we talked about the limo driver and who's a self-taught rocket scientist. He plans to launch himself into space tomorrow, proving the Earth is flat. Maybe he should take Kyrie Irving on that plane with him. I mean, on that rocket with him. I wonder if Kyrie Irving would get on there with him. You know, Kyrie Irving thinks the world is flat too. And then he'll tell you, well, you know, I don't know what's true, what's not true. We all need to believe what we need to believe. Yeah, but you got to believe facts, man. You got to believe facts. Oh, great comment by Johnny. He said, fault is not always a metric of accountability. True. And the last thing we went on today is that fans' rights. What are your rights? Because sometimes people keep abusing those rights, don't do the right things. You guys, make sure that you guys, like I said, share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. We're here every day. We bring the truth, man. We talk about things in a way that is, you know, where sports meets real life and the things that we care about, guys. Things that we care about. You guys, appreciate it. Catch you guys. Might catch you after the Super Bowl. We'll see if something great happens this weekend. But aside from that, I'll catch you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.